Welcome back to the Prompt Us podcast, everybody. I hope you enjoyed last week with our, what did we call it?
Our special episode.
The secret.
The lost tapes.
The
lost tapes.
The lost
lost
tapes.
tapes,
That's
yeah.
it. The lost tapes. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm here, per usual, with the boys, Chad and Zach.
You're
and
Gabe.
I'm Gabe, by the way.
Yep. Today's a doozy.
Today we have, well, I mean, is it a doozy?
I think it will be.
Well, for us.
Do you ever just feel like you're ready to cry? Do you
Dude,
guys ever feel that?
I've been ready for weeks. I've just
Bro,
been waiting to sit down with
Zach,
you guys
how
to do
about
it.
you? How are you feeling?
Dude, I've been counting down for this moment. I've been keeping the tears in to cry now.
Dude, I can feel it. It's almost
try to monetize the tears.
You're like, I almost cried last night, and I was like, wait, hold it. I need it for the thumbnail.
for the podcast.
it's almost like when you gotta hold peeing, you know, you're holding your tears in. Why do you look like that? Oh, I gotta
Oh my
cry.
gosh.
Don't worry.
Me at Disneyland, bro. Me at Disneyland. I just gotta pee all the time. I can't because we're in the line.
I was like, where are you
That's
going
the problem.
with this? Out of nowhere, we're talking about
Me crying at
crying.
Disneyland.
So do we want to tell the people what this is about?
Yeah, let's tell the people what this is about.
All right, Zach, tell the people what this is about.
Tell them, Zach.
All right, Chad and Gabe, I'm going to tell everybody what it's about right now. Pretty much, we just want to catch up, right? I think we
Yeah.
haven't caught up with each other in a minute, so I guess this is a good opportunity to catch up on air, live on air to the world.
Actually, which is a good segue, because the reason why we had the lost tapes last week was because we've all kind of been so busy.
We're just like really busy.
We're all just sorry, guys, can't catch up. We're
Yeah.
busy. No, but there's been different stuff going on in each of our lives. We all live in different cities, and we all haven't like what's the word I'm looking for? Communitively
Yeah.
caught up together.
Yeah.
In a minute,
Yep.
and we've all like kind of briefly shared certain things we're going through over text or little
Yeah.
voice messages or whatever, or like quick FaceTime calls, but spend an hour to catch up and fully just express what's on our hearts and minds and just catch up, like, I don't know,
Like bros.
like bros, but like to represent, to show like what we want this community to be like,
Yeah.
where we're all just like sharing our feelings and our thoughts and the things we're going through. And rather than doing it via prompt today, just straight up catch up conversation.
I guess
with
the
homies.
prompt is, I think the title for this is, how are you doing? Really? How are you doing, comma,
Oh.
really?
That's the
The title.
Brackets, wholesome podcast.
Zach just posted on his YouTube channel.
Hashtag juicy, hashtag emotional.
Oh my gosh.
So, but by the way,
right.
before we jump
What-
in, have you guys met any prompters yet? Because I've met two.
Oh yeah, when I was in Australia, I got stopped. I was actually at to lunch with Zach, and I
Wait.
got stopped.
Yes.
What?
Okay, you tell the story. You tell the story, but I'll add my angle afterwards.
I can't
No,
wait.
so what happened was I leave the table so I'm catching up. Well, I'm getting like brunch basically with Zach, and I went to his church. There was a bunch of like his church friends after church.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up and I don't know if I go to the bathroom or order something at the desk or whatever, but I like left the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone recognized me and got a photo with me. And then after that, this other girl came up and got a photo with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that second girl was like, I listen to your podcast all the time. I love it.
Cool.
You guys are whatever, like said, that it's really impacted her life and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, awesome. Thanks so much. Whatever. And then I don't know, I left. And then I told Zach about it, and I was like, yeah, that's cool.
And then Zach's side.
Zach's side of the story.
So, okay, I thought that was going to be a different story. There was another time where a similar thing happened, and Gabe was like, someone was like, oh, I listen to the podcast, love the podcast. And I remember hearing Gabe look over and be like, oh, that's Zach over there. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then they just turned straight.
Oh
Like, there
my
wasn't like
gosh.
oh, Zach, you do so well on the podcast too. It was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then the awkward turn back.
Dude, it's very unfortunate,
Anyway, bro.
but dude, I've taken.
Yeah, I don't know how to console you on that one,
Dude,
to be honest.
Zach, I think I'm an anomaly because I've been with Jess and Gabe to Disney, and that okay, you are chopped liver standing next to them at Disney, right?
Okay, we don't get stopped that often.
About every third person, I would say.
That's
But-
not okay.
So, by the way, we're gonna get to the topic soon, so hang on tight because I will be crying in this episode. I am, but no, Zach. Somehow, Zach, I have taken 2 W's with Jess and Gabe. I've taken 2 wins home
I was there for
to
one
the
of them.
bank.
Yeah, you were. It was that one time we went to
Yes,
Disney
dude.
for my birthday.
I was there for one of them.
And this person came up and asked me for a
Yes.
photo. And I was like, oh, you mean Gabe? He's over
Yes.
there. And he was like, no, like I
He was
follow
like,
you.
"You're Chad, right?"
And I was like, no, Gabe's over there.
No, but the best part was is that you weren't even like doing social media stuff then.
No.
It was just like from your modeling
From
stuff. and
underwear
just kind of-
modeling days. From underwear modeling.
From underwear modeling on top of a washer and dryer.
Hey,
Dude.
can I get a photo?
Yeah. And then
my
I go recreate
She's like, hey, can I
that
get a
pose.
photo? He's
Yeah.
like, oh, without your shirt.
Yeah.
He takes his shirt off and we chest bump.
Oh my gosh.
And then, Zach, and the
You guys
second
don't know
time,
without your shirt, and as you're taking your shirt off, you take your shirt off and his is already off.
his shirt's already. Honestly, that could be a vibe.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I just wanted this in my portfolio.
Yeah, I'm just no, never mind. So the
Okay,
second
we have to get into.
Okay,
the-
I just gotta steer this real quick.
Okay,
the
sorry.
second one, Jess and Gabe are visiting us in Lakeland, Florida, which is it's a medium-sized town, but it's in between Tampa and Orlando, so it's kind of dwarfed compared to those. And we're walking around this famous lake called Lake Hollingsworth, and we see these people walking towards us. I think there's just 2 girls, and they walk up to us, and we're with these 2 YouTubers, and we're obviously thinking like, okay, they're gonna say something to them. They walk up to Tori and I and say, "Oh, I follow you guys on YouTube." You remember this? Dude, they
Yeah.
come up to Tori and I and they're like, "I follow you guys on YouTube," or whatever. And we were like,
Yes.
"What?" But here's where it turns into an L. Then they look at Jess and Gabe and they're like, "Oh shit. What are you doing in Lakeland?"
Yeah.
They literally looked at them like, "Wait, why are you here?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm here."
Dude, that's so
Like,
good.
I'm here. I live here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm
I'm here. This
I'm
is-
here for you. No, it's that. I made this for you. Never mind.
All right, so
For you.
let's jump into this. I thought it'd be cool if we all just took some time to catch up a little bit, because I know that you sent us a text, Gabe, in the old group chatty, and you
Yeah.
were just sharing some stuff about your work and balance and all that fun stuff. And I know, Zach, I don't know where you're at right now, but I know that you were experiencing some different emotions regarding whenever you're daily vlogging and everything you're learning and all the different hustles you have going on. So I didn't know if either of y'all want to go first or just pop in or what.
Zach, you want me? Okay. All right. Yeah, just
I
point
thought-
to me.
I was giving you the point.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the best place for me to start is kind of like what I'm learning right now. And I'm going through a book that was recommended to me by Jeff Bethke.
Mhm.
I don't know if you started reading it because you were on that call too, but it's called At Your Best by Carey Nieuwhof. I'm pretty sure is how you say his last name.
Yep.
But it is,
He's good.
dude, it is probably we've talked about essentialism, Atomic Habits, and everything. And Atomic Habits was still like life changing for me. But this book, excuse me, I have to burp. I'm so excited. This book has, when you read a book and you've never been able to like verbalize
Mhm.
the way you're feeling until you read the pages of a book. I'm listening to it on Audible, by the way.
Yeah.
But let's just go with read. We'll say I do that. So I'm reading, right? No, but when you like the page, the words in that book just put all the emotions that you've been feeling and everything that you've been going through, it just verbalizes all of it for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
That is exactly what has been happening. And long story short, like the overall, and it shows it on the front cover, it shows like green, yellow, and red, and he calls them like your green zone, your red zone and stuff. And it talks about like your energy throughout the day and how to like optimize it and how to like organize your week and your weekends in a way to optimize your life, to not burn out and to not be stressed and to get everything done that you want to get done
Yeah.
without feeling overwhelmed or any of this. And it is the most like most practical book ever. And the reason why this is like impacted my life so much is because I guess with like adding my YouTube channel back in and going through like the journey that I'm going through with like just trying to make my own content again.
Shifting.
Yeah. I've just, it's just like, it's kind of like pulling teeth a little bit, just with like trying to make it stick and make it work and get it to the point where I know it can be. But with all of that, I'm realizing that I've spent so much time in the past only like being reactionary a lot of the time and not moving the needle forward on like the things that I should be getting done and the things that I'm creating, but rather just like letting the world happen to me and let text dictate how I spend my time and emails dictate the amount of like just what I do throughout the day. And there was one day specifically that I remember I started, like I hopped on my computer at probably like 10 a.m. and was like, okay, I'm just going to blow through emails and text real quick. I didn't get up till 2 p.m. because it was just like,
wow.
And I was just like, I just wasted my most productive hours.
Would you call that the green hours? Is that what
like your green zone? I mean, mine is probably more like 8 a.m. to
noon
probably, but around there. But yeah, I was just like, I'm going to blow through this so then I can work on other stuff. And I was just so frustrated. And I'm like, now I don't have time because now I have a call and then I have to run to this thing and that thing. And I'm like, I was supposed to film a YouTube video today and I spent 4 hours on emails. And that was kind of the day where I was like, something needs to change. And I've like, you guys know, I have a work phone now. So I literally throw my personal phone, I leave it in the kitchen and I don't touch it during work hours. Besides maybe at like lunch or something, I'll check in case there's something important. And then my work phone at night goes away on the weekends. I don't turn it on from Friday night to Monday morning, like just really separating that. And that has been great. And just like implementing things in my life. Like I set my green zone on my calendar being like, it's around like 8 or 9 a.m. to around like 11 or 12. And it changes per day on like exactly what, but I have it with like just the creative stuff I need to get done. I have it just so I'm working on the like really forward movement things in my life. Like I'm practicing music. I'm getting I film my YouTube videos and I have things blocked out. So like I have a thing called YouTube time and it is strictly for me to work on YouTube stuff. And if I don't have a video to film, I just sit there and study. Go through my analytics and do some research and find out video ideas to film. And it's like it's really liberating because those are the kind of things that I needed to be doing for so long.
Wait, hold on. You got to back up for me a little bit. So so we had that call, and then Jeff recommended that book by Carey Nieuwhof called Your Best.
At Your Best.
At Your Best.
And then at what point from you starting to listen to that or read it, I'm sorry, at what point from you starting to read that, did you start to implement some of these things? And then where are you now?
Well, I started implementing right away because Jeremy, who was also on the call, mentioned that I needed to give myself permission during that like period of time for creative work, which is the first thing in the morning, to do nothing. And as someone who likes to be productive, it was really hard for me to like he was explaining because he like writes a lot. So it's like whether he's writing his like newsletters or his next book or whatever it is, he's like, I'm either going to write during that period of time every single day or do nothing. And he gives himself the license to do that. And he's like, there's only so long, like I'm not allowed to check my emails or my phones or whatever during that period of time. And he's like, I can only stare out of the window for so long before I get bored and start writing something. And that's what flipped the switch for me was like, I need to give myself permission, even if I don't have anything to do during that time, I will do nothing.
I think that's really cool
because like creativity comes from a stress-free environment and it's stressed in a uncluttered mind where you have the space and capacity to think and to create. And if I'm like, okay, I have this 1 hour, I need to do all my creative work in this time. And then I'm like already mentally prepared to like jump into the next meeting, then respond to those emails and then get, like do all of the admin stuff after that. It's going to put me on the back foot, even in the time that I've allotted for my creative. So I allot a way bigger time for my creative stuff, which is basically like the first half of every workday. And I don't check. I was just telling you this before we could hit record. I stopped checking emails until 3:30 p.m. Like I just can't check emails or work texts most of the time. Sometimes if there's something important, I make sure to check for that. But like, that's basically like anyway, just really structuring my life in a way that I was getting really bogged down with
the admin,
no, I mean, it was it was the stress of the YouTube stuff and trying to make that work and putting half of it was like the stress of it and how it kind of like shuffled up my life.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other half was realizing how much of my, like the value that I kind of
Identity.
attributed to myself. Yeah. And my identity, I attributed to myself in being successful on social media or whatever.
It's almost like you were exchanging your self-worth for your self-work.
I could tell that the joy and happiness in my life and like my day to day, like I would end days so like annoyed and frustrated.
Yeah.
And it was like so unhealthy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, this is my work, but I can't have it like dictate my happiness in my life. And it's like clearly something that was becoming an idol. And I was like, if this doesn't work, then where is my worth? Which was not the mentality that I should have been having. You know what I mean? So like really, and I talked to my brother about it and we're like really like tried to like, I guess, wrestle with that and work through that and just kind of like shift my mindset on it more, you know? And I got to the point to where, and I'll read these to you. And I have like, you know, affirmations that people say. And I was like, I feel like I need those to like make sure I start my day with the right mindset, but not like affirmations like I'm strong. That kind of stuff. Just like really just like, I guess like rules for my life that I'm going to live by day. And I haven't fully fleshed them out.
I guess you could also call them assurances.
Essentially. Yeah. But I haven't fully fleshed them out yet. Like I wrote 3 down and I need to like kind of continue building them out. And as I think of more, I'm going to add them and stuff like that. But this is something I'm currently working on.
Did you just say Adam? Like add? Sorry.
Dude, Chad.
That's so good.
Chad with the ad.
Sorry about that.
That's pretty rad.
My dad.
My bad.
Like
My bad.
Ad masters.
It made me sad.
All right. Now we're back.
Yep.
So yeah, these affirmations are just like things that I wrote down that I know if I just read them every day before I get into my workday, it kind of like sets my mind right. So the first one I wrote down is I build today for Jesus, with joy.
So
I build today for Jesus, with joy.
That's cool.
And the next one is my work is a privilege, not a burden. So I will have fun today. And realizing like, I just need to enjoy my work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will make small progress on the things that matter.
Yeah.
Which really just like helps me just align my mindset on what is really important. And I'm going to, you know, maybe those aren't like exactly what stick and stuff like that, but I just know that I needed to build something out to really help me understand. I probably will add like certain Bible verses in there that are good with it and stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of like refocusing my mindset on the real purpose in it all.
Yeah.
Rather than it being for myself to build my empire and to build my, I'm building God's kingdom and doing this for him.
Yeah. I think the actual like word that describes those is a maxim. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. So a maxim is a short, pithy, I need a little pop blocker, pithy, a short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or rule of conduct. And it can also be a concise expression of a fundamental moral or rule or principle. And so it's kind of like, this is like principles that you're living by. It's because I read this.
Maxim. You heard it here first, guys.
Not to be confused with the magazine. I read that there's this book called
Or the condom.
Wow. You can tell someone who's wholesome. Some people had Maxim magazine, other people had Maxim condom.
It's not Maxim, it's Magnum.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I was just making a joke. Anyway.
So
Magnum condoms. To the sponsor of today's episode.
Yeah. I am
Imagine.
Not a.
Imagine.
So wait, hold on, Zach. I have a
my
question. Do you call them condoms or condoms? What do you call them?
It sounded like you said the same thing, my guy.
That's my point.
No.
I had this British friend in high school that called them condoms.
Was it 2 M's?
Yeah, and I was like, why do you keep saying that? But
2 M's.
Yeah. was the weirdest thing, but he was British, so I felt like his English was more proper. So.
Listen, I'm still confused as to if like this whole section is staying in the podcast.
Oh yeah, me too.
Zach,
Are we gonna keep it? Find out in this now.
Yeah.
Find out now.
If you guys are just tuning in where the conversation abruptly just changed, that's because Zach decided to cut something out. But obviously this part won't make it if he didn't cut it out.
because we're super wholesome, appropriate men of the Lord.
That's safe for ads.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So no, I love what you're saying because that really spoke to me a lot because I've also been struggling in that in-between phase where it's just like I find myself constantly exchanging what is important for what is urgent. And there are important things I need to be doing, but there's so many things that require urgency, like emails, like texts, like, you know,
well, it's
send this
what is
contract.
the square, right? And that really made me think of like what is actually, I need to be focusing on what is important and what is urgent.
Yeah.
Because there's things that are important and non-urgent,
Mm-hmm.
which are also, so the four things are like, right? It's urgent and important, or non-urgent, not important. So there's things that are urgent and important, and then there's things that are urgent but not important.
Yeah.
And then there's things that are important but not urgent. And then what was the fourth one? Not important
Or
and non-urgent.
urgent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not important and not urgent.
And I tend to do those the most.
The ones that aren't not important, non-urgent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I had to like, and he talks about that, and at your best, he talks about that. He says a lot of the time, we tend to need to focus on the things as far as like dreams and ambitions that you want to like accomplish and things that will actually help you achieve your goals. Uh-oh.
Chel's bells.
We have a wife in the
Chelsea's gonna know what she's
podcast.
saying about it.
Get a thumbnail for views. Oh, wow. Did y'all see them kiss? On YouTube, you might see them kiss.
Sorry, guys.
Did you guys kiss?
Were you guys in frame? Did you kiss? Because
Oh no, we didn't. Dang, could have capitalized on it again. I'm so bad at this,
dude, Zach, think of the thumbnail.
I know.
He screams, Chelsea, get back here.
Get back here.
Quick, let's make out real quick. She's like, what? And you're like, no, it's fine. It's for the boys.
Well, that's cool. It's for the boys. Do it
Oh
for
my
the
gosh.
boys.
Creepy.
Okay,
Sorry, Chadman.
where was I?
We're talking about urgency and all that. And I was saying I tend to focus on what's not urgent or important.
Yeah, so where your dreams lie and things that are like not urgent, like
Mhm.
I don't need to start writing the book. I don't need to start writing another song or working on my album. I don't need to write whatever like the dream is
Yeah.
usually important, but it's not urgent.
Yeah.
And those are the things that continue to get pushed on the back burner.
They do,
And
so
you wonder like, why are things not getting done? And I made sure to focus that like my focus is on what's important and urgent and what's important and non-urgent, and blocking space in my calendar for what's important and non-urgent. So like the things like
Yeah.
YouTube time,
Mm-hmm.
me looking at my analytics and like analyzing the data is not necessarily urgent,
Yeah.
but it is very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
And yeah, it's kind of, you kind of have to like go through everything that you do on a day to day and really break it down to understand like where you're spending most of your time. Anyway, you continue. I just kind of hijacked your
No, I
conversation
mean,
there.
I really enjoy this because I do get so lost. Almost like I need to put like a priority list, or I need to be able to like flag each different version of what comes on my plate.
Yeah.
Because I do have a hard time knowing what to do, because even right before we started recording this podcast, I got an email about homeowners insurance, and I'm like,
Notifications off, baby.
yeah. And I just get so caught up, and I use my most valuable energy and like mindset on things that don't require creativity. And so when it is time to be creative, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more left in the tank.
Yeah.
And then I try to force things. And no, I really want to check out that book. I wrote down a few of the books that the guys mentioned on the call,
Mm-hmm.
but I just haven't made it there. I'm just like doing the best I can right now.
Important,
Yeah.
not urgent.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, urgent is breathing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, dude, you are like closing on a house right now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
is that not public?
Oh no, it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, it's
Chat's closing on. Hi,
Yeah. Dude, Gabe, what is your, because you're talking about like your what's most urgent and what's the most important. Like, I don't know, man, just give me like a tier list of what right now in your world, in your life, because I think that's also just a great way for me to like
Learn from
see what maybe I should be prioritizing in my own world. Like, oh, my wife is at the top or whatever it may be. I just think, yeah, I'd love to just hear more about even just like straight up, here's what I'm spending my day
Zach.
on emotionally, because I guess that's something that I struggle with for sure.
Yeah,
Zach,
I mean, what?
Zach, he literally just went on his phone, pulled up his tier list, and deleted number 1, which was Legos. I just watched him delete Legos off his tier list.
That and sim racing.
Wait. So yeah, my emotional energy, I divide it into sim racing, because one day I'm going to meet Daniel Ricciardo. I just want to make sure I'm on the same level. And then the next thing, my wife. It's just like sim racing.
Is it Ricardo or Ricciardo?
Ricciardo.
Nah, it's Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Zach was like, no.
He's like, I'm Australian too. I speak his same language.
Yeah.
I'm Australian, and so I speak Italian.
So from a work perspective, the way it's kind of like it falls is like content. So right, I have New Earth.
Shout out.
Shout out. Chad and I both repping.
Zach, in the video, please Photoshop a shirt on you, or like just put a graphic of
Oh,
one.
by the way, can I? Oh yeah, dude. By the way, thank you to everyone who we're like nearly sold out. The day we're filming, it launched today. And I don't know when this is going up specifically. It might be at some point next week or whatever, but like we're almost sold out, and it's like it's been a few hours, and yeah, I just thank you guys. It's been like huge. So appreciate it. You all the best. So yeah, so basically I have New Earth, I have board games, music, secret project that I shouldn't announce now. Some people know it because of something that happened, but whatever. Then I have this podcast. I have content, which is like just social media stuff and YouTube videos and everything.
Wait, so is this tiered in order?
No, these are just the way it is on my list here. And then I have filmmaking, along with that's more like productions, like TV, film stuff that I'm actually now active on, which is like the important, non-urgent.
Yeah.
That is like what I always tell people is like, oh, my biggest goal is to one day just work on films eventually. And I just want to like create, stories in TV film format. Like that's what I've always said. And I've never really done anything about it besides like the acting stuff that I've done. And now I'm like actively pursuing, developing things like that. And this is not that old, so it's not like there's anything new in the pipeline, but just like that's something that I've actively started working on and set aside time for. And then and then acting. I started taking auditions again. And like
that's crazy.
It has been it's actually really cool. I just did my first one like a few days ago.
Oh yeah.
Just self-tape right here, and then so anyway, I don't know about like exactly what order it is, like content. And this is just work, right? This isn't like the personal stuff, but like during the work hours, like content is definitely, I'm realizing like I need to treat that way more because the content brings all the opportunities, like the YouTube videos and stuff, all of it brings, you grow the audience, you grow your brand, brings so many opportunities that flood in. And then all of a sudden those opportunities take up all your time. And now you're neglecting your content, what got you there in the first place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so backwards. That's why I'm spending like the first chunks of my day, of every single day, just working on developing the content stuff. And now like, Jess and I used to, or for myself personally, I had 3 vlogs with Jess a week when we were like vlogging all the time. And then 1 video for myself a week. Like I had 4 videos a week. And now I'm doing 2 videos on my channel by myself, and then our video with Jess a week, and I'm back to 3 when I was only doing 1 for years because I didn't do anything on my channel. And Jess and I were just kind of like just doing our normal vlogs once a week, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of getting back into that rhythm and flow and trying to make it sustainable and create a format that I enjoy, that the audience enjoys, but that is sustainable, that I won't like burn out with. And still,
I think there's such a great lesson in there about like it's so easy to just like get all gung ho on something and become obsessed with it and pursue it nonstop. And then like, you know, if you play the YouTube game or whatever, like TikTok game, whatever you want to play, if you hustle so hard in it, you'll likely find success, but at what cost? You know, is what you're getting worth what you're giving, you know? And it's just kind of like, you know, I've seen some really unhappy people driving a Mercedes to a job they hate, you know? And so I think it's awesome. It's a great lesson for people to know that like, hey, if you're going to pursue something you love, make sure you pursue it in a way that you're going to keep enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know, just really figuring out the right way to, and it kind of like changes. Like I don't have a block just for New Earth and then just for board games and then just for like a lot of the project stuff, I have blocks throughout my days for projects. So whatever's kind of like urgent, which the past few weeks has been a lot of New Earth stuff since that just dropped. A lot of my like project space has been devoted to dealing with that stuff, for creating content for New Earth stuff, like some of the reels and TikToks that I've made and stuff like that. But yeah, just really like blocking out time for the things that I need to be spending time on. Because if I didn't block out time for projects, I would have been like, oh, dang it, I don't have time to create, which really you do have the time. You just need to prioritize your time.
Yeah. Yep. That's so true.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And then just, I needed, the work stuff was really like stressing me out. So that's kind of like what I've been working on now. And Jess and I are really, sorry, someone's just calling me. And Jess and I are really at the point, I'm now really at the point, or I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, now I really need to be intentional with this in my personal life as well. And in the book, he talks about if you have empty space on your calendar, that's where all of the stress is going to happen. He talks about on a Saturday evening, if you don't have anything blocked out, that's just like personal time with the family. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You just have that blocked out every single week to know that this is the time that I'm going to spend on the weekend with my family. Someone else is going to come in and their priority is going to override what you theoretically want to happen during that time, but you can't say, you know what I mean? Like if you have it blocked out on your calendar and someone goes, yo, what are you doing Saturday night? You can look at your calendar and go, oh, I have a commitment with my family that day. I'm sorry, I can't make it.
Yeah.
Where if it's empty, you go, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm having a party. Then you like commit to going to this person's house before you talk to your wife. And then all of a sudden you're in a fight with your wife because you know what I mean? Like having that empty space, it's kind of like blocking out space for you to recover and space for you to do nothing and space for you to be with your wife. And that's kind of like the next step that I want to get into. And this is all fresh for me. Like I'm going through this book and like,
which is why we want to talk about it, because this is not like where we get on these microphones and we preach. No, this is like where we walk, you know, like arm in arm, hand in hand. Zach, put your hands up to the camera. I forget that his camera faces a different,
I know, right?
than the Skype.
But so like I'm at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go through this again, and I want to do it with Jess so we can like approach this together.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's just it's been really, really good on like learning that I need to create. And I've kind of said it before with like that whole ideal week thing, but that even needs to flow. And I'm learning that needs to flow into all the spaces in my personal life as well. You know, like what activities do I want to be doing? What on like a Saturday, what do I want to be spending my time doing? Like with my family or activities that I want to do. Yeah. What do I want to pick up a new hobby? You know, just the things that you're kind of like, oh, I'll get to one day. You can block out the space for it and do it in a non-stressful way. And it, you know, and if something comes up that's like trying to fight for your attention and your time, either it's like a no because it doesn't fit into the sustainable, like I guess systems and rhythms that you've built, or it can be pushed to a few weeks from now, or a month from now, or 2 months from now, depending on where it fits in.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Have you ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Have either of you ever read that?
Bro, I feel like you ask us that every 2 podcasts.
My bad. I pulled so much from that. Then I probably don't need to share this in. It's probably a broken record.
Bro, yes. I know where you're going with this because I was literally thinking about it today.
Yeah.
I reckon I could share it.
Go ahead. Hit it.
I reckon I could tell you. So in Rich Dad Tall Dad.
Okay, different book, Zach.
In Rich Dad Poor Dad,
that's the book.
he talks
That's the
about
book Chad's
paying
writing.
yourself first.
Yes, pay yourself first.
Yes, exactly.
That's where we're going. And by paying most people will pay all their bills first, and they're left with like nothing at the end. But if you pay yourself first, then you'll find a way to meet those requirements and commitments elsewhere. You'll extend the amount that you've got financially. It's the same with your time. It's like, okay, focus on the essential. Let's tie it into essentialism. If you focus on the essential first.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Proud Dad.
Sorry, Chad. I'm like half making fun of Chad because they just made a video where he talked about it and it's so good, but I have heard it like a few times now.
Yeah, bro.
But I'm like, I'm going to learn how Chad says it because he crushes it.
Dude, I love it.
Give it to me, Chad.
It's so powerful.
So let's
to me.
learn now. Chad,
Do you want me to actually say it?
give us a lesson in how to
100.
talk about paying yourself first. How does Rich Daddy, Poor Daddy pay himself first over here?
All right, check this out. I'm fixing to learn you something, all right?
All right.
Have you ever heard of a learning
Let's
brick?
go.
A learning brick?
Yeah.
It's if you don't learn it, you get hit in the face with a brick.
And then you learn.
Ah.
It's called a learning brick. So I'm about to
Yeah.
hit y'all with
The more you know.
like a rainbow, like the SpongeBob rainbow.
Yeah,
Imagination. So basically, just what Zach said, I'm going to piggyback off on right now, which is whenever people get paid, what do they do with that money? They pay all their bills. They pay their mortgage or rent. They pay their utilities. They pay their car, their gas, their groceries, their gym membership, their clothes, their food, whatever, right? And then with what's left over, they either save it or they have fun with it.
Mhm.
Okay. And so, but the author, Kiyosaki, asks, he's like, whose happiness matters more? Your bill collector's happiness or your happiness? And he said, obviously yours does. So he said, you need to write yourself a bill every single month for like, Chad wants a vacation. Chad wants to write a book. Chad wants to whatever, right? And he said, you pay yourself first.
Mhm.
Because then what happens is you pay yourself first, then you pay your mortgage or rent, then your utilities, your insurances, your car, your gas, your groceries, all this stuff. He's like, at the end, if you don't have enough money left over, you either A, find a way to make more money, or you start cutting the fat,
Mhm.
right? And so what's so important is that we need to realize that we can't just let our time or our money just be wasted, where if you just leave that empty space open, like what you're saying, we'll end up using it for something we don't want to use it for,
Well,
or
and
something
the-
that's less important.
And in today's day and age, there's always something fighting for your time.
Mhm.
There's always something fighting for your time. You have people hitting up on text, you have emails. Social media is literally algorithmically programmed to fight for your time and
Yep.
attention. And if you don't do anything about it, it will take up your
Yeah.
time. And then you're going to be like, oh, I spent literally 4 hours a day on TikTok
Yep.
for the past week. What is that? Seven times 4. Get it to
28.
me. 28. 28 hours in a week. You almost spent an entire full work week
Yeah.
spending your time on TikTok. What could have that been put to?
And it's so good to quantify that stuff too, because then we can actually like, wait, Zach, how do you say it? Quantifiable emotions. What were you saying? That emotional equity?
It's always quantifiable in
emotional
Zach's
equity.
world.
Buzzwords, baby. Buzzwords. Let's go.
You are the king of the buzzwords for sure.
Dude, that's so good. Yeah, emotional equity, but then relational equity, financial equity.
Oh, dude, the whole thumbnail for this is just Zach just pointing at different like equities, you know?
It's important. Relational equity, financial equity, marital equity.
Marital equity. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
made that one up. That one's for free. You can take it.
That's good. That's good. And were you throwing to me, Chad, or were you?
I was
Yeah,
trying to.
where were we?
Throwing this up?
Well, I was trying to throw it to you a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, yep. I'm just like, I feel like I'm on the ride right now. I feel like I'm just like taking in everything that you guys are talking about, because I think, I mean, we can get into this in another podcast, but I feel like I'm in a similar place with my time as well. And even just things like running, like the way it's like, I said this to my friend Andy. I was like, when I go for a run, I feel like I have my whole day back again. And that's a 30-minute to an hour run, right? But before I go for the run, I'm like, can I justify an hour right now?
Wow.
Which is crazy, because if I just listen to what I just said, it actually gives me back a whole day. And so it's like, I'm learning it's less about the literal time amount and about what you're doing in that time. And I literally just bought that book on Audible, Gabe, because it sounds so good.
Dude, literally, he talks about the green zone. He goes, everyone has 3 to 5 hours. So what you were saying, it's the time. It's not how much time you have. It's what you do with that time. And it really, essentially,
Yep.
Buzzwords. It's flashing on the screen right now. No. Essentially, you want that really productive time to be in your quote unquote green zone, which is the 3 to 5 hours in your day. Some people have more or less, but it is between 3 and 5 hours where you are the most switched on and productive. And that zone can be different for different people depending on like if they're a night owl or whatever. Like it can fall in different parts of the day, but it is that time where you're going to be the most efficient. You have your 100% brain capacity to just like work at optimum level. But that's all you have. You know what I mean? Like it is that portion of your day. So it's finding out where that is and then using that for the most important tasks in your life. That's why I used to try and do emails at the start of the day. And I'm like, once I started reading books, I was like, why am I wasting time doing this in my most productive hours?
Wow.
I'm literally wasting time like saying yes and no to things in my most productive hours of the day. So I just put it like almost at the end of my workday and I get back to it and people can wait. They know now that like I'm going to get back to it. Just
it's almost
not
like
immediately.
it's almost like you have to train them.
Yeah, you really do have to train. Like when people know now, I don't have notifications on my phone. So like I won't get back to your text right away. If something's urgent, call me. And now I have my work phone and personal phone. So people are like kind of learning like, oh yeah, he'll get back to me at the end of the day if it's, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's just like really understanding how, like are those really, really important things and where to place them in your day to most efficiently
take control of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as paying yourself first, which is like such a good way to pay. It's pay yourself first with your time. What do you want to do with your time? Block that into your calendar right now. Because if you don't block it into your calendar, someone else is going to take that time and you're going to be mad about it, but it's your fault.
Yep.
Put that on flipping TikTok or Reels. All right.
I love it.
Zach, when you're in the edit.
Done.
So boys, it looks like we're going to have to continue this conversation on next week's episode.
We've talked about me the whole time.
Which, for the views.
That's cool, dude. That's cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's why we're doing this. I wanted to catch up. I wanted to hear where everyone's at, bro. Like, I'm already like jacked to keep hustling because of what you've talked about, bro. So thank you, man.
So if you all want to either hear or see me cry, you have to listen to next week's. Sorry about that.
Whoops.
I
guess you have to subscribe. And rate
Zach,
us,
do it.
Rate us everywhere you find your podcasts.
All right. We love y'all.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching this episode of Prompt Us. Make sure to go to promptuspodcast.com to submit your own prompts, and we will see you in the next one.